Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have some messages for you, and then I'll pull some oracle cards as well today. Just a few messages, not real long, I don't think. You never know. Just a little bit of leftover energy from yesterday. Something that came up with the Divine Masculines yesterday that I don't know if I'd gotten out there. Crystal meth kept coming up, so someone's having an issue with crystal meth. I was getting pin cushions too, like a lot of IV drugs, that kind of thing. And also, I couldn't think of his name, but I kept seeing something wrapped up in a blanket with little pink ears, and I couldn't think of Piglet. So I was getting Piglet and wrapped, and then yesterday I kept seeing things like on shows and stuff of someone being wrapped up in a blanket. So it was wrapped up in a blanket like pigs in a blanket. So whatever that means to someone, let me know, because that kept coming up. Yeah. And then also, last night, I don't usually watch series or anything, but there was a series called Wet Hot American Summer about returning to camp, 10 years later. And the dates were important that came up, and Spirit's connecting with me. The date, it was August 18th, and the series starts on August 18th, 1981. And it's about 10 years later, returning to camp on August 17th, 1991. And then I was getting August 18th from yesterday, the 10 years that in 2028 is an important date. August 18th, 2028. I don't know why it's important, but 10 years from yesterday is important. Maybe a reunion of something. And then, and this was last night, 99 and 66 were coming up. Yeah, was there something? And I did my sand art last night too. Let me just take a quick peek. I wasn't getting a lot from it yesterday, but I think towards the end there was something. See if I'm still getting it. I was getting sharks coming up again, and things falling into place. It's like, this is what I got. There's going to be some twins who actually see each other, so they just accidentally come across each other. So those kind of meets are definitely happening now. So that was probably the most important message I got from it. But the things are slowly falling into place. And like a platypus is coming up too, so if that means something to someone. If I get anything later, I'll let you know, but that was the gist of it. It was kind of like I got the noise, like someone sees someone. It was kind of funny, actually. And actually, someone might have their kids with them, too. So that was from the sand. And then today is August 19th, 2018. So it is the 19th, which is the sun energy. So it's not only amazing energy, but also happiness and exposure, complete exposure. The energy adds up to 38, which is the Queen of Cups, 3811. So it's very spiritual, it's very visionary of the feminine energy. And of course the sun is known as the masculine energy. So we have the masculine and feminine, and actually 19 is half of 38. So it's kind of like the Mary Magdalene, Jesus energy, because I always see N is like code for me for Jesus, and M is Mary Magdalene, and half of M is N is Jesus. So that's the way it was shown to me. So today is 19 is half of 38, that same pattern. And so patterns may be coming up today too, to make sure you've broken the patterns you need to break. It was kind of dark and rainy all day, and I'm sorry, I was just out running in the rain, so I kind of had a baptism today, so that might be coming up as well. But the energy is a little bit low today, which is good after we've had a lot of high energy days. So you'll find that you'll be going in cycles of really high energy days, and then you'll get a break for a couple of days. So it's going with the flow, not planning things ahead of time, and allowing your life to unfold as it does day by day. And then I was shuffling a deck, and one of the cards from another deck that's the same size got mixed into this deck, and that was the Nine of Cups. from the Golden Universal Tarot was accidentally in the Tarot of Sexual Magic, and I got at that moment lovers get their wish. So there's definitely some unions coming together now. Also was getting it's a weird one, but urgent toe, starseed, indigo. So I was getting there's some kind of urgent rescue. It doesn't have to be a car towed, but it can be from a star involving a starseed. But the Indy 500 was coming up, but just also expressing that something will come up where you have to go fast. Okay. So something urgent, an urgent tow, so someone might need your help really quick from a starseed. And again, the 38 came up again in the codes, 3811. So the day is 3811 and the codes were 3811. So it's all about the Queen of Cups and the sun, like her sunshine, okay? And things being exposed. So I didn't get a whole lot of codes for the Divine Feminine part of the read. I did get 88 as well, and 28 and 13. There's something about Ven and 8, so there's and 3 coming together, so it could be the third energy. But I was also getting Ven, which has different meanings. It can mean beautiful, friend, wind, also vein, like tributaries. And it also means in Spanish, come or see. So I was getting with the number 8, being guided to different things, like 8 tributaries or 8 points along a certain route or a shoreline, or 8 points of even a vein's tributaries. So, but you get that idea. So if that means anything to anyone, let me know. It had to do with 8 points, and 3 or trinity of maybe your friend seeing your energy, someone recognizing their beautiful friend and all the ways that they love them. I was also getting my nephew, it was his first day going to his dorm at college for the first time. And it was right next to Union City, so Union City came up at the same time. So, and I was being guided actually to go see some shore points, but it was right from Union City, so that was perfect. And also, like I said, in Spanish, that ven means come. And the message to me was from my sister, you know, to the university he's going to, here we come. So it was all kind of falling into place, and it was right next to Union City. So REITs were also coming up. For any of you who invest in REITs, REITs were coming up, and if REITs in another way means something to you, let me know. But 0 point was coming up a lot as being very important right now. Stay at 0 point, and the wind. She's like the wind also came up. And literally Ven also means wind. V-E-N. She's like the wind, beautiful friend, come see shore. So something about the seashore as well. Maybe you have a friend you want to visit at the shore. Maybe you're being called to do some work, some grid work at the shore. And then I look up my nephew's school to see the exact address, and it says, welcome class of 2022. So here we have the 3 2s again. Okay. So then I was investigating a little bit of personal stuff. 944 came up, and like I said, 8 points. And also something that just was coming up more recently now was 8-pointed stars, or something that has 8 points. So whatever that means to you, take that as a message. Also brick was coming up again, which had come up for me before. So for the Divine Feminine, from the Divine Feminine perspective, excuse me, tower distractions. fires to clean up. The two together make the third energy to transmute along some point. So you may be being called to do some grid work. I was getting a magician watching. I was getting that someone's a watcher, and it's not necessarily a good thing, but it's not good or bad, it just is what it is. Soulmates may be somebody might be turning their back on you, and it could just be a friend. There's some unrequited love between friends, and that may be why beautiful friends are coming up, and she's like the wind. But I was also getting karmic energy of a Queen of Wands reversed, who's blocked. Oh, and I just got this too. Maybe at the beach, putting their feet in the sand, but also putting their feet in the sand, like putting their foot down. So it could be someone's pissed, a karmic Queen of Wands reversed. But also getting someone at the beach, like with their pants rolled up, like not in a bathing suit, but just walking on the beach. Someone maybe who'd been rejected, grounding, third party over. Could be someone who was drunk and who's just hurting the next day and walking on the beach trying to get over it. Overindulgences, gossip, and antisocial behavior was coming up. Sudden fires to put out for the Divine Feminine, but also with the King of Swords, there could be gossip coming up for the Divine Masculine, and again, overindulgences. Also, suddenly the Divine Masculine seeing his own behavior, and the karmics may be stuck, driving kids around without the Divine Masculine, but dealing with someone who has antisocial type behavior. So somebody that the karmic doesn't necessarily want to be stuck with, but they have to. But also grounding, shyness, and rejection, which are just personality traits which can lead to antisocial behavior, a withdrawal, because they're shy or just introverted. There's also fear of the aftermath on the Divine Masculine side coming up about sudden events. So it's steps they haven't taken were because of the fear of what would happen in the aftermath of it. Twins, I was getting twins in love at work is out as the Emperor thinks of his bride removing the veil. So that could be literal, or so maybe someone was going to get married and they're not. But also I was getting the etheric veil, like understanding that the veil is being removed. And also feathers in his crown as opposed to feathers in his cap. The full moon brings out the riffraff. I was getting a lot of narcissistic behavior, really masculine energy, but it could be a really masculine narcissistic feminine as well. It could be a female, it could be Divine Feminine or karmic, but I was getting that it was really masculine energy, you would think, but I was getting that there's a feminine person who behaves like this, like a masculine narcissist. And I was getting it more than once. Bad leaders, teachers, and actually I was getting, some of it was referencing wearing winter hats in the summer. I don't know if you see I don't have it out right now, but the Hierophant in the Tarot of Sexual Magic is a really narcissistic Hierophant, and he wears like a winter cap, but that's what I was getting. A masculine energy, but this narcissistic energy is disrespecting the Divine Feminine. I was getting Emperor was being like a werewolf. So at the Emperor was okay, upright, but like a werewolf at the full moon changes into a narcissist. So there may be some situations like that where maybe they have, kind of a split personality thing. But just for that moment, and as birds begin to fly south, and they were showing to me like swans. So like when he turns into this narcissist, everyone starts leaving early. So there might have been a party where people started leaving early because someone was freaking out. But I was also getting that the Emperor could also be, like I said, a feminine person, a female, looking in the mirror, seeing they're masculine, like seeing themselves as a man, not seeing them as a female, and seeing them as a very militant man instead of who they should be in their feminine. And it could be them seeing themselves in their father as well, and being urged to express in moderation and not to go to these extremes. So again, this could be a masculine person or a feminine person. But either way, it's expressing a very extreme masculine narcissistic energy. But this person's starting to recognize their own behavior. I was also getting tarantulas and black widows. Literally was getting black widow at the core. And then I was seeing a notebook, someone spiraling downward. Cut off at the knees. A dark cat. Someone who was dreaming of a ball gown and flowers and the golden gate feels like all their hopes and wishes have been dashed in loss of money. Clinging to a bad childhood, not loving self, and family, learning from family that they were undeserving of money and wealth. Okay, so that's a wound. So if you believe that, then that's what you draw into your sphere. Okay, so it's about breaking these. We're still letting go of wounds. Okay, so this is all about, do you deserve to be comfortable and be able to have abundance in your life? Okay, so you might want to say some affirmations every day about how abundant you are. There's a sudden download to some about this. After healing and forgiving, and maybe blocked and blind, to needing patience in blending, and this was important, in blending different frequencies. So I was getting the analogy of, you know, when you drink, people always tell you not to drink different types of drinks when you're out drinking because it'll make you sick. It was showing me that's the same principle in blending frequencies and why we need patience. Because if you're bringing two different frequencies together, you need to first alchemize those frequencies and those energies before merging them. Okay, because otherwise it'll make you sick, or it'll make you purge. Does that make sense? So that was kind of a cool analogy. Recently, a huge download came in. So it was being shown as an ice ball. Comes in to douse the fires of epiphanies. Recent leaps of faith. Cleared the moss from the stones. Pulling out and revealing dark energies rising to the top like oil and vinegar to be separated. Wheat from the chaff. Separating twins in school. Separating toes. All these things came up. Separating together. And also separating funnels. So I was seeing things like funnels in order to filter out, like I said, the dark from the light energies. So whatever's no longer good for your highest good is going to get separated from you. And I was literally came in the Golden Gate Bridge is the filter. So anxiety from, I was getting a lot of air energy coming in, so that's where all the anxiety is coming from. So maybe some who you have given to before, when you're not using your intuition and you're more defenseless, now coming into your power and no longer allowing that. Maybe some may feel that everyone's against you and one by one fell away from you due to unrequited love. But it's really just you becoming into your power. Others will then fall away because they can't abuse you anymore because you're not allowing that. Centrally for the Divine Feminine, as you come into your power, and I was being shown like the Divine Feminine is learning to flip people off, basically. You know, they're not allowing people to walk all over them. There's also could just be news or a small message coming through. The Divine Masculine could be messaging. No, and the flipping off came up about people not romancing the stone after having abundance, but still needing to learn about how to work with energy without becoming frustrated by negative energies around you or refusing offers that don't resonate. So, and not questioning. You always have to be authentic to yourself. So if someone doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. You don't have to do what they say just because they say so. You have to follow your own guidance. This is the point. Each person follows their own guidance to lead them to their own joy. And this is what raises vibration around each person. The challenge is, you might have a challenge with people showing up unexpectedly. So it's fine, you know, now you've got it down, being at 0 point, and when it's in a controlled environment where you've decided to go out and expose yourself to others, you're fine, but you might still be not quite prepared when people show up unexpectedly. So this is something that needs to be worked on. to always keep your heart open, even if it's someone that you didn't expect and you don't want company, that kind of thing. To still allow your heart to be open, but still just speak your truth. Be friendly but loving. And always remember to love yourself first. So if someone's being aggressive or pushing the issue, you just cut them off. So while you still continue to learn about your own energy. Dance, be authentic, refusing offers that don't resonate in order to satisfy your higher self, your intuitive, connected self. Now, for some Divine Feminines, a practical offer will come again in a bold move to drop wounds, exposing someone who may have left a marriage quickly and now in the aftermath cleaning up, standing in their truth. And this could be a King of Wands, or I was getting maybe another King of Wands standing behind them. So not sure the energy of this King of Wands still. Could be supportive of the Divine Masculine, could be the Divine Masculine, or it could be someone who's pretending to support the Divine Masculine. But I'm getting some of the Divine Masculines may have coming out of a situation where they've just lost family or money or both. Refusing or rejecting home, and an Aquarian was coming up. Someone who thought what they had was their dream marriage, and then a third party to choose. So leaving behind these different issues to choose the world path, the universal path, putting their butt on the line and opening their heartstrings or their lines of communication to, and it could be the karmic, it could be the Divine Feminine, but I was getting a Leo energy, doesn't have to be Leo though, in a Tower moment, so a sudden disclosure. And it could definitely be, I was getting more strongly the karmic, so them having a discussion with the karmic. And then soon soulmates have broken up. And again, this Leo energy was coming up again, doesn't have to be. Needing the courage, it could just be needing the courage to see the light and stop giving to a King of Wands or to those who demand from you. So, and it was that came up with me recently too, because I've always tended to give money, you know, to homeless on the street on my way to work or wherever I was going. But if they, it depends on how they approach me. If they approach me demanding something, I don't do anything. But if they're kind and I have a good feeling about them, then of course, I'm happy to help them out. But this is the same kind of principle. If someone demands something from you, then you shouldn't give them anything. Nobody has any right to demand anything from you or make you feel guilty. If you're being guilted or shamed, that's negative energy, okay? And that's something you need to detach from. Also, Metatron, I was also getting Metatron maybe backing up the Divine Masculine in all this. The Divine Feminine is coming up again as the Queen of Pentacles, playing with this energy, but being grounded, and also coming up as grounded and rounded. So rounded is part of being grounded, well-rounded after being sad and very emotional for a long time, buried in insecurities who have now come out of it, clearing, and being blocked by a narcissist. So around the Divine Feminine could be someone else going through suffering cycles as they go on, and after, happy families are now off. So the families of people who have gone through these suffering cycles are now offering their love to others who are starting to go through the suffering cycles. So helping those in need. The Divine Feminine needs to clear blocks. I was getting of ice and crystals. Okay, so maybe being icy and that kind of energy. Also dropping burdens about independence or being wealthy. So if you have wealth, dropping any burdens you feel about that. Again, that comes up with shame and guilt. If anyone's shamed you or guilted you about anything in your life, you need to detach from that energy. You shouldn't be feeling any shame or guilt. That's a program. So if you are as the Divine Feminine, the Empress. Guilt and shame is the devil, basically. That's the dark energy, the shadow. You are to be your individual self and express your individuality. And Cupid sweetly judges the masculine and friends. So I was getting, the difference is, so if someone comes in and guilts or shames you, discharge yourself from that energy. But someone comes in and sweetly judges you, like this is what a friend is. A friend sweetly judges. A friend offers something healthy and supportive. All right? They shouldn't be doing things to make you feel badly. A friend should be supportive and help you. Even if they don't agree, that doesn't mean they have to be, guilt you or shame you. You can have a difference of opinion and see things different. A friend doesn't shame you or guilt you, okay? So the Divine Feminine is manifesting. As karmics try to control, take demand, reject, leave behind, shun, guilt, shame, sadness, loss, all these things, a friend offers something healthy that feels good and judges sweetly. Justice is served, truth and balance without judgment. And then afterwards, so this is what was coming out from the read, and then after that, there's deception of a King of Cups reversed, so it could be masculine or feminine energy. But either way, it's either detached, manipulative, or just really over-emotional right now. But, we'll go by the portrayal, which was a masculine energy, working on details himself and meditating. So the masculine going through this is now detaching and working on himself, working out the details of how to do this and working on himself. So in summary, there's a sudden event, but that doesn't peak. So the whole tower moment doesn't happen. It's just about the cleanup afterwards, the aftermath may cause, if there isn't a completion, when you have a tower moment, at least there's this pinnacle, and then there's the fallout afterwards. So there's a release. But if this tower doesn't happen fully, then anxiety and frustration build up because it still hasn't resolved itself. Okay, that's the energy I was getting from this. So the Divine Masculine still may be feeling anxiety of unrequited love, not still positive about the Divine Feminine. Getting to know each other and expressing your love was coming up for the Divine Feminine. The grounded energy of the Divine Feminine no longer suffering and helping others who are suffering with this huge download and a leap to message or news or some kind of communication coming through, something small, allowing time for the Divine Masculine to disconnect from relationships, work, friends, who only offer manipulation and not truth and balance. Okay? So then for the Divine Masculine perspective, by the way, for the Divine Feminine, the energies were the Tower, the Starseed, which is like the Fool, and Indigo, which is like the Magician. So very powerful energies. It was 4 Pentacles, 3 Swords, 1 Cup. And then the characters were the Page of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. So for the Divine Masculine, I had the Lovers and the Wheel of Fortune. 1 Pentacle, 2 Wands, 2 Swords, 4 Cups, which is a lot of cups for the Divine Masculine. And then the characters were the Page of Wands and the Knight of Cups. And the number that came up was the 9, which is the Hermit energy, but also being wise and going within, isolating. I was getting 5, 3, 1, 9. But also 53 was coming up, which is like a catapult, so that ties into the sudden events with the Tower. In the coding, I was getting points again to aid at points, 5 points and 3 points, which coincided with the 8 points from the Divine Feminine read. But it was also about someone the Divine Masculine owes. It was about being good at supporting your Divine Feminine through meditation, and maybe the Divine Masculine owes their Divine Feminine something. But this was coming up. I owe you an aid. So it's possible, Divine Masculines could be coming by or giving a call to their Divine Feminine. Maybe feeling out in the cold or iced, blocked that way by the Divine Feminine. And also iced tea was coming up. So if that means anything to anyone, let me know. The Divine Masculine could be blocking their 5D messages right now after grounding stuck emotions. We're blocking their peace. Maybe not speaking their peace. And they may be blocking their 5D messages right now just to ground themselves, not because of anything specific, but just to keep their peace. learning, offering to roll with the punches and walk the dog. I was getting walk the dog with the yo-yo. Playing the races, so somebody might be gambling at the horse track. Also grinding nuts I was getting, so that could be literal or food, grinding nuts or grinding teeth as well. I was getting different perspectives. So there's some divine masculines who are going to be seeing their karmic as clearly nuts, and that their karmic is clearly the devil, and that the Empress clearly loves ice cream and nuts, and that also nuts don't fall far from the tree came up. Or they could also be seeing an Empress energy in lack, working with energy and kids with shocking results. So some of the divine masculines are going to be surprised in what they see in the divine feminine, like something that had been a sore spot they're shocked about. Also engagement comes up, so some of you may be getting engaged. There may be engagements that are broken off. And also I was getting a Leo energy again, so there's a lot of Leo stuff, and it could just be the time period, it doesn't have to be Leo, but someone moving to the beach to do something at the beach, maybe something artistic, creative, painting, stuff like that. I was getting palm trees, so maybe in Florida or an island. So then I get the Emperor at the full moon, burning the past to grow into the present passion. And moderation was coming up for the divine masculine as well. It's all about 0 point. Connection clear, coming out, cross my heart, and it's like the divine masculine saying this. The connection's clear now, coming out, cross my heart and hope to die, cross my fingers and toes, and pick up sticks. So he's like saying all of those sayings in the world, but also losing hope at the same time at times. Recently I was getting excitement from the divine masculine, but still wearing their mask of a little boy, right? Protecting themselves. But the Page of Wands was coming up. The Queen of Wands moves boldly or just makes a big move with news of justice or divorce. So there could be a karmic who moves out. Coming together for union after no new life of spirituality due to a devil engagement. So someone might have gotten engaged to someone else, but now they're broken up. And this is now in the past. Coming together for union. Yeah, after initially thinking there was no chance of that happening. Centrally rising above, I was getting for the divine masculine, rising above like Mary Poppins with the Olympic torch. So, and that could also be the karmic I was getting. So again, this Leo energy was coming up as blasting off. So Mary Poppins with the Olympic torch blasts off. Someone is awake to family happiness. The High Priestess came up, but also it was like, it was one way or the other. It could be the divine feminine saying it to the karmic, or the karmic saying it to the divine feminine. You can have them if you want them, you know, like tossing them away. Challenged by the divine masculine needing rest or meditation, and surprised in the 5D, may be cut off by the divine feminine, impatient to have physical relations with their divine feminine, okay? Real sex, okay? So divine feminine being patient, seeing them being patient like an angel. Now in the head and heart of the divine masculine, he's floating or going with the flow, coming out with some kind of death or ending, finally getting their world together, recovering after having been confused and depressed. Dazed and confused came up, discussing where to go from here, possibly with their karmics or their twin. The harsh truth of someone may have been rehab or arrested, even got kidnapping. And also reflecting the divine feminine in the 5D. It was interesting the way I saw it. It was like seeing the divine feminine in the 5D was actually reflecting the divine masculine out in his yard doing work. And his right elbow hurting. Working out his anger issues. Walking away, working on self, one step at a time. And then I was getting a 12-step program or a 7-step. And there was a joke that came up the other day about the twin flames and have a 7-step program to ascension. So that was coming up for some. So these steps, one at a time, towards the divine feminine, with tears and union, all caused by the Empress and the Emperor divorce. So there could have been someone's parents too, like the divine masculine's parents, I was getting a snake and a narcissist. So there could be interference from another couple. I was getting a couple, it doesn't have to be the parents, but it could be someone else that was very present in the life, and their emperor and empress. So it was could be older, but if not, just someone who's in a lot of power. Soon the love reigns as cycles end and confessions begin. Loving self by getting his home in a divorce. So now some masculines may have fought for their home in a divorce, finally loving themselves instead of letting someone have everything. And family happiness. I was getting him as Batman on the beach, not working, with family released from entrapment. So some may have been entrapped by their family. And unknowingly, some may have been stealing for their family, not knowing. Also robbing Peter to pay Paul. Around him, the King of Cups is present and over it. Okay, so this is the energy. It could be the energy of the Divine Masculine, of himself, or it could be someone who's actually around him. Clearing blocks of a fake lover, or their lover being fake, that they always must perform and lie in order to come together, hold back their words, or always having to put up with nasty words. So these are all the things that the Divine Masculine was feeling around them. And they were getting that the lovers in meditation, it just works, it just is. And getting that part of it, and working on the details of their family and the daily stuff. And then I was getting karmic completion for the cards and abundance. And needing to fake it till they make it as far as the twin dance, you know, to get past the awkwardness and, you know, some of the hurt that still may be there, but realizing this is okay, this is part of the process. The destiny of codependent narcissistic marriage with Leo again was coming up, or could just be this time period. Empress manipulation of an emotional man. I was getting the Empress acting like an over-emotional man or a child, actually, and a narcissist at work, the Emperor. So these are the energies that were coming up for these two. Could be brother and sister as well, the Emperor and the Empress. Also, I was getting Leo or Sagittarius, not sleeping or depressed. I was getting more of a karmic energy, but it doesn't have to be. It also could just be someone being strong in the wake of the aftermath, okay? Left out. Someone feels left out from 3. Maybe someone walked away to be love instead of deal with this crap, and excited to rise above, tango, and meditate with new love at 0 point destiny in the eye of the tiger, or within the vortex, 0 point. Okay, so that was the energy, and I'm going to pull some cards for you quickly for the Ascension deck. Okay, it's 38 again, so that's, you know, the third time that 38's come up, the Queen of Cups. Okay, so for the organic, divine masculine, divine feminines. Organic, divine masculines, divine feminines. What is the energy? What is the advice? What is the advice? Okay. Lord Maitreya. The bottom of the deck is the Cosmic Heart. And the Cosmic Heart just says, it's number 9, so that's okay, coincides with the Hermit, which just came up. I am the Cosmic Heart is the affirmation. And Lord Maitreya is number 30, which is the 4 of Wands, the Union card. It's the 30 of 3 of joy and self-expression coming together, friends, siblings. So maybe that Emperor and Empress can be brother and sister. It's the 0 of the God or the love energy. We're on the inside working through the 3 on the outside, becoming the 3. So it's all about expressing yourself just the way you want. It says Lord Maitreya is head, I don't know if that I show it to you. Okay. So Lord Maitreya is the head of the Great White Brotherhood, the beings whose aura radiate the pure white of integrity and high intention. Drawing this card suggests it's time for you to examine every area of your life carefully and practice purity of thought, word, and deed. So this comes up with, you know, when you're prepared, but there's still may be situations where you're not quite prepared, and you need to kind of program yourself, so always be prepared. You're being asked to be an example of right living, For your light will then draw many to the ascension way. Your reward is the peace that passes all understanding and the joy of flowing smoothly on your higher path in life. And the affirmation is, I connect with the great white brotherhood and radiate pure white light today. Okay. Ding. Okay. And then from the past life deck. Okay. For the organic, divine feminine, divine masculine, twin flames, advice. Organic, divine masculine, divine feminine, twin flames. So these two both came out. The high priest or priestess is at the bottom. Okay. So stand in your power. And make sure you break any vows that you've made. The two cards that came up were karmic relationship, which came up a couple times this week already, and then also communal living. Okay, so and it brings up working towards those type of communities where twins will be, you know, they're interdependent, so they'll have their own businesses on their, but within a community. So everyone will have their independence, but yet work as a whole. So that's coming up in this card for sure as an ancient way of living. You know, see, having lived in the walls of the mountain. Some may have experienced this before in a karmic relationship of the past, in this life or in prior lives, and it is bringing up the military too, like the karmic relationship. Some may have been living in military situations, so it's very communal because all the wives live together, or you know, that kind of situation. It's a little heavy. So you might want to meditate on this, on the karmic relationships. The military's coming up because her karmic is going off to war. But also the communal living of living in the mountain, that might come up for some of you. And the high priest or priestess in that card on the bottom of the deck is also coming up in front of a wall, like the mountain wall. So it could be related to that as well, so maybe you need to cut some cords from that past. And then from the journey of love. Journey of love, journey of love, journey of love, journey of love. Okay, for the organic. Divine masculine, divine feminine, divine masculine, divine feminine. Okay, we got two. And then the devotion to the smalls on the bottom. Okay. Devotion to the smalls number 32, which is the Six of Wands, which is good news. And so there might be a birth of a child for some. But it's about nurturing the small. And just coming up too is that it doesn't have to be big to be important. Okay. And the cards that came out is let the feminine lead the way. Okay, and that's number 39. And the other one is 52, the ancient ones. Okay, you are the ancient ones. Okay, so I'm going to read those to you. And the ancient ones, the picture of that reminds me of in the Syrian deck, the Page of Cups cracking their heart open wide. So for some, they'll be experiencing this with the download of energy that's coming, this big ball that I talked about. And also it's about the divine feminine being taken up, maybe for some healing, just connecting more fully with their light, with the etheric realms, but knowing their power. I'm going to read them to you. So 39 is the Knight of Cups, and 52 is the Queen of Swords. And that could very much represent the Divine Masculine and Feminine. So the Divine Masculine being the Knight of Cups and the Divine Feminine being the Queen of Swords, right? So she's the widow of her Divine Masculine having gone away, and he is the Knight of Cups coming back to offer love. So 39 is, let's see, '39 says, the feminine principle in you, whether man or woman, is the way forward in your life now. She is the principle of feeling and of surrender. She feels the intelligence of the divine guiding light in a way that the masculine principle cannot at this time. You may not see where you are going, therefore, but you can feel your way forward. Trust her. Let your mind go and let your senses lead you, becoming more exquisite and communicative. Be led by your heart. Don't worry if you don't know all the details yet or how it's going to work out. She knows the way, and let her lead. This oracle brings confirmation to you that what you have been feeling or sensing, even without logical physical evidence, is worth following up on. Trust your senses over appearances. Trust your intuition over your intellect. You are letting feminine wisdom guide you, and she will steer you in the best direction, and Spirit's connecting with me. So it's literally telling the Divine Masculine to trust his feminine. And the poem simply reads, my coming out is the freedom to fully be who I am, and the surrender to the divine essence expressing through and around me. My coming out is the marriage of twin souls with my life partner, in gratitude, in love, unfolding as more than we could ever be on our own, which is really nice. Okay? And then 52 is the Ancient Ones. Your spiritual growth is now acknowledged and witnessed by the heavenly ones that see beyond time and space into the reality of your soul. Do not lose heart if your spirituality is not fully acknowledged, understood, or appreciated by those around you in the physical world as yet. Though they may love you, it is most likely that their vision is still bound by time and space, and they cannot see into the very real gains that you have made in the subtle worlds, where all true spiritual growth begins. So the Ancient Ones reach out to you and bring the message. We see you, beloved. And Spirit's connecting. We honor your growth. It is real, it is palpable, and soon it will manifest fully in the physical world. With breathtaking beauty, we honor your light. Namaste. This oracle brings guidance that you have taken a leap in personal growth. If you're still testing it in the physical world, trying to translate your inner changes into outer experiences, take heed. It's only a matter of time before you see reflected back to you in your physical world what you have become within. And you will see it mirrored back to you in the eyes of those around you in sacred relationship too. And here's the poem. Here's wishing you some sunshine, the day after the rain. How appropriate since it's rainy here. Here's a hug of understanding when life seems filled with pain. Here's knowing that emotion, like wind, which also came up then, blows. So here's knowing that emotion, like wind, blows many ways, and our course will seem more certain with the dawn of each new day. So not trying to plan or prepare for too much, but just going with the flow and trusting that it will all work out as it's supposed to. Okay. I just want to show you too, I brought up my crystal apple for you from the Garden of Eden, since that came up this week. I wanted to give you my crystal apple. So make sure you drink your water, rest, get out for some exercise or a walk or whatever you like to do, and make sure you clear and meditate every day, okay, and protect. Have an amazing day. Rise and be loved, guys. Take care.